tie. I, Tyler, if you knock it, no one's. Bro, just run. Go. I got you. Go. No, but if you go now, you can make it. All right, bro.
Good evening. Welcome. My name is Sean Ryan. I am superintendent of Clarkston Community Schools, and it's my pleasure to welcome everyone here this evening to our kindergarten roundup and pull together for some nice information tonight. And I know, thinking back, we have hopefully a nice mix of parents. First of all, you can kind of see in the crowd. How many first-time kindergarten parents do I have out there? Wow, okay. Respect. If you're thinking, did the superintendent bring his own cheering section? Yes, I did. No. Honestly, we have here out to our right here, as you see, my right is, we have all of our kindergarten teachers and elementary principals with us this evening, and they're eager to not only meet you more personally one-on-one, because it's one thing to hear from the gang here, especially from me. We got some real experts that will be talking after me, but we believe in getting that foundation and starting a relationship and having you being able to talk to the principal of your school and also the kindergarten teachers that you're going to meet along for that first year. And seeing so many first-time kindergarten parents this evening, it's awesome because in Clarkston, we look at it as you're really very much starting a journey with us. You're not just starting school. And the reason we know that is, to a person, almost everyone you see to my right here is also a parent, including myself. I've had 4 kids, 2 of them still in Clarkston Community Schools. This is personal. This is really personal. And we know on that first day of school, especially if it's your first, by the time it was my 4th, it was kind of like, all right, see ya. You know where we live. But honestly, all 4 of them, but especially that first, that combination of excitement, the anxiety, how nervous you are, thinking, oh my God, this is it, and I'm taking my kid for the first day of school, and you're dropping them off, or maybe that first time that they get on the bus, and you see them kind of walk away from you, and once as a parent you see this, you never forget it, and they do that little look over their shoulder, and it might be just a little wave or a kiss, and they hop on that bus or head down that hallway, and you feel that sense of like excitement, they're doing it, and that also that, oh my God, my kids also, they're getting old and they're walking away from me and things are changing and next thing they're gonna be leaving for college and all those emotions, they're real. And we absolutely know when you bring your children, as when we bring ours here, that it's the most important thing that you have in your life that you're entrusting us with. That's an awesome responsibility. As your superintendent, I know I'm speaking for all our principals and our teachers. We take that responsibility incredibly more serious than you can imagine. We want this to be more than just starting school, but as I said, starting a journey that will begin now, that will carry you through all the way past graduation from high school at Pine Knob, and in a couple months when it warms up and you see the excitement, same kind of excitement you do on that first day of school as parents watch their children cross that stage onto something more, growing past us. And it's all part of the journey. It's not something that you just get done in a day. It's not something that you have to think, oh, I'm sending them to them. It's a we. We are your schools. I am your superintendent. This is your team that will be helping you guide as you start your school experience. And we realize we want to address, the concerns, anxieties, excitements. We want to share in them. Because I know every one of our kindergarten teachers here, that's what fires them up. They absolutely love when your kids come across every day. And honestly, I don't know how to do it some days because I get in a kindergarten classroom and it's like complete awesomeness because there's kids going every which way, there's excitement, there's learning, much different than when you were in kindergarten. There's the expectations have changed and that can be hard sometimes, but there's joy. There's joy when the kids come in, and we know that, we're there not only educating our community's children, we're growing little people. Hopefully, eventually, they turn into nice neighbors and community members and big people. And that's a huge responsibility. It sounds simple, and I'm making light of it, but not at all here in Clarkston. The values of our community, the values of our families, transcend and reach right into your schools. The things that you hold dear, I can guarantee you, looking at our crowd here, and when you get a chance to meet our principals, meet our teachers and talk to them, they share with you. Concerns, fears, looking at the world as a whole. We're there with you. And you need to hear that from me as your superintendent, that the journey starts now, but it doesn't get any slower. It gets more exciting, and the opportunities that your children are going to have, not only to be cared about, to play, to learn, to engage, to learn that the beauty of what it is to be in a public school, which is you learn how to work and deal with other people. And I can tell you there's going to be days that you come home, there's going to be tears. There's going to be that kid in the class, the girl in the class, that whatever you see, it is a culmination of experience that myself and my team could not make up. We couldn't script this stuff. But it's absolutely critical because the things that you learn between the lines when you're in school, I would tell you matter most. And when you leave here and you look back, most kids are going to know how to read, write, and do math, but that's that extra piece. Were they challenged? Did they find that they had opportunities to think past kindergarten, first grade, fifth grade, 10th grade? Were they dreaming of things different? Were they seeing a future that was going to be something they want to pursue and get excited about. To me, it's like when kids graduate, and eventually, I know we're talking about kindergarten right this moment, but I look at every one of those students, those kiddos crossing the stage, almost like I did when I looked at them in kindergarten. I see the same faces. And I know whatever they are, they're on to someplace, and it's going to be exciting. Whatever they created and what they got to explore in their time in Clarkston schools. But it all really starts tonight. And maybe, hopefully, I'll be here when you guys are in the audience at Pine Knob, and I give hope maybe even a shorter speech than tonight. But the idea behind it, it's a value system. It's what we're about. It's our core piece of being Clarkston Community Schools. And for all of our new parents that are joining up tonight, welcome. And I would say to all the parents that are returning veterans, that have a couple kiddos or a child in another grade level already, you know what I'm talking about. It's a feeling when you come up to the building. And that goes for all things. It's not just the academics. When you're there at Clarkston for a movie night, or you're at a family night at Springfield Plains Elementary or at North Sash, all of our schools, it is a family atmosphere. So I hope you're able to soak that in. And on behalf of myself as your superintendent and all of our team, we're approachable. If you have a question, concern, or thought, not only tonight, because this might be the one time I get a hold of you before you're in middle school or junior high and I get another shot, know that I do care about what you think. It matters because chances are you're not the only one that's thinking the thoughts or the concerns that you have. And are we perfect? No. But do we keep trying? And do we make up when we make mistakes and we keep pushing forward? Absolutely. So again, I just want to welcome you all this evening. Hope you get a lot of the information that will be helpful in getting ready to move into this big jump forward into kindergarten. And again, we're here tonight, we're here tomorrow, we're here next week, we're here all through the spring. If there's something we can help you out in that transition, please don't hesitate. Take the chance. Send an email, throw a phone call at us, we're here. You'll get a response from us and we'll go from there. So have a good night, welcome, and it's my pleasure also kind of as on behalf of our community is our school board. Our school board's an integral team member and part of what we have going on in Clarkston Schools, and we're fortunate tonight to have Mr. Greg Need here to my right, our school board president, who's also just going to give a quick welcome to you as well. So if you don't mind, if you give a little applause for Mr. Greg Need, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sean. 20 years ago, my wife and I were like all of you that just raised your hand in response to Sean's question. We were trying to figure out how to best educate our first child, our 4-year-old daughter. We were a little uncertain, very nervous, and we had a lot of questions about what the future held for her and for us. Samantha began kindergarten with Mrs. Dobson at Independence Elementary that fall, and it began just a terrific 17-year relationship between my family and Clarkston Schools that continued until my youngest graduated in 2021. Mrs. Dobson was a great example of what all of our kindergarten and Young 5 teachers are: educators, caregivers, disciplinarians, and models of kindness and patience. And they're also magicians because they juggle all of those roles and they teach with excitement and enthusiasm. And I know that your kids will, as mine will be treated with love and respect and taught with excitement about learning in our classrooms. You may have seen on our Clarkston Schools website that we have a collective vision for our district. When our students graduate, when they walk across the stage at Pine Knob, as Sean mentioned, they are well prepared for a future that excites them and believe that they can achieve their dreams. That vision became a reality for my family over our 17 years. Samantha now loves her job as a social worker. Miguel is doing very well in his junior year at Otterbein University. And just as that vision became a reality for my family, that vision will become a reality for your family this fall when your kids take that school bus or get dropped off and begin their first day of school. And whether your child will be a Independence Bronco, Broncos, a Springfield Plains Dolphin, an Andersonville Eagle, a Bailey Lake Bulldog, a Clarkston Elementary dragon, a pine knob tiger, or a North Sashaba wildcat, you're going to be joining an amazing school family. So on behalf of your Board of Education, greetings to the families of 2037 and 2038. I got to step back a minute. I can't get my hands around that. But yeah, 2037 and 2038. Greetings, and on behalf of the board, I am thrilled to welcome you to Clarkston Community Schools. Thanks a lot and have a great year.
Thank you, President Need. Eventually all become wolves. There'll be a quiz on the mascots later, but we'll get to that. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Services, Ms. Nancy Mahoney, is going to continue on our program.
Thank you, and I do warmly welcome. I'm Nancy Mahoney. I do lead curriculum and instruction for the district, and you know, just walking around and just talking with a few of you, I didn't sense a lot of nervousness, but I did sense a lot of love that you have for your child. And so I just want to say that that's a beautiful feeling when I speak to you, and it's true, and I pick up on that, and I just want you to know that we have the same genuine feeling when you know, your child or your children are coming into the district. I do want to, you know, just mention 2037, 2038, you know, and the question is always, well, when did you graduate? Well, I graduated in 37. It does sound like a long time, but as you know how time flies, and it's quick. And so if we just back up a little bit, I just want to mention that we're sitting in the junior high right now, and when your child becomes an 8th or a 9th grader, they're going to be in a brand new junior high thanks to your love and your support for our schools. But we're super excited, and I know this sounds mind-blowing, but we're going to build a new junior high while it's operating. And that's going to be happening soon, and it's going to take a few years to finish that, but we're excited, especially for the kids coming into the district, that they're going to have a brand new junior high when they come to 8th and 9th grade. And again, you know, speaking to the love of, you know, the district, I just want to say that we are a school family, and that was intentional the way that we wrote that. And I hope, and our goal is to really send the message, starting right now as you enter this school district, that you're feeling that this is a family atmosphere. So the purpose of tonight, there's really 3 things that I want to lift up. Is I want you to learn about what is Young Fives, and what is kindergarten, and how are they different, and how are they similar, and where is my child going to go? Those kinds of questions, we want to really present a strong definition of the two so that you feel good about it. And then how do I register my child for school? And so Tina Moyles is going to come up and explain that whole process to you. And then I want you to have the opportunity to make connections with your home school. And if you don't know your home school, I want you to find out, because it's really important, I think, that you have the opportunity to speak to a principal, a Young Fives teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and able to answer any questions that you have. So that will be at the end of the night, okay? And so we'll just continue moving forward here. I did often think about the questions that you might have, and this might be a little bit a repeat, but again, you're going to understand the difference. We want to talk just, you know, an exciting piece about how you can start right now preparing your child for school, and we're going to partner with you that, and the enrollment, and again, much more. So Michigan has requirements, and Clarkston follows those requirements, and I just want to explain a little bit about the 3 pieces of the requirement of Young Five in kindergarten. And so I think it was maybe December of 2018, 2019, when your beautiful child was born, right? I think I got that right. Okay, 24, back up 5, that's about December of 2018, 2019. So when we think about the calendar, if your child was born December 2018, January, February, March, all the way up to June 1, it's our practice that your child enters kindergarten. And again, I don't want you to worry about, oh gosh, they can't, oh gosh, they can't, they can. We accept all children, we prepare all children, okay? So I just want to assure you of that. So our practice is that they enter kindergarten. This bottom piece is about those summer months. And so if your child was born after June 1 and before or on August 31st, okay, this is where we have that option piece. And you're going to hear about the Young Fives in the kindergarten program But this is where I want you to really pay close attention to the two programs because this is where we have choice, all right? And then young fives, if your child was born September 1 prior to December 1 in that fall block, our practices that go right into young fives, all right? So that's something, again, you're gonna hear about both programs tonight. So we really want to instill this love for learning, all right? When children enter our school, we just want them to love it, and we want them to love their teachers, and we want them to love to read and love to write and to learn math, and so we have to instill that, and that's what our teachers do. And so I'm going to introduce two of my very favorites. This is Michelle Aesthorpe. She is a young fives teacher at Springfield Plains Elementary, and this is Abby St. Aubin, and she is a kindergarten teacher at North Sashaba Elementary, and they're going to launch the two programs to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nancy. Abby and I, we've both been in your shoes. Both of us are former Young Fives parents, and we're both teachers of young children. And we're excited to sort of talk to you a little bit about Young Fives and kindergarten this evening. My name is Michelle Aesthorpe, like Nancy said, and I've been teaching in Clarkston for a little bit over 20 years now. And I teach at Springfield Plains, and if you can go forward one or two, there we go. So behind me we have a picture. The top is our school family, and the bottom is our family. My school family, that picture was taken today. They turned pretend play into the Dolphin Airlines. We're working on an airport, and so we talked about a class picture. Everybody wanted to hop in the airplane and take a snapshot. Underneath that is a picture of my family. My husband is an elementary school teacher, and we have 3 beautiful children. And our daughter Ellie is 16 now. Back when she was 4 years old, my husband and I decided that Young Fives would probably be the best place for her. She's got a November birthday, and she was so quiet and so shy that we just wanted her to sort of have an opportunity to sort of just grow and develop and kind of figure out who she was as a little person and who she was as a learner. And now looking back, it felt like a decision we were making just right then and there for her being like a little 4-year-old. Now that she's 16 and she's a sophomore, which I can't believe I'm even saying, it still feels like I'm glad that we made that choice because the world gets big for these little people so fast sometimes that I'm glad she's 16 and a sophomore instead of being 16 and a junior right now. Our younger two had March and May birthdays. They hopped right into kindergarten, and those kindergarten teachers just loved them and supported them and encouraged them, and they're all thriving right now. So no matter where your child ends up, they're going to be loved, they're going to be encouraged and supported, and at the end of the evening, like Mrs. Mahoney said, you're going to have a chance to meet some of the best staff members there are out in the hallway to ask questions that you might have about Young Fives, about kindergarten, and really about anything that you might have about the home school. And now let's hear from Mrs. St. Aubin.
Hi, I'm Abby St. Aubin, and I do teach kindergarten at North Sashaba Elementary. This is my 22nd year teaching kindergarten in Clarkston. And, you know, actually, similar to Michelle, we have a son and a daughter. My husband is also a teacher, and our daughter attended Young Fives, and she is also 16. So, I mean, that was just an amazing year for her, that Young Fives year, and she really left with so many amazing skills ready to start kindergarten. So tonight we're going to take a closer look at what makes Young Fives in kindergarten so special and unique.
All right, so oftentimes we're asked the question, what is Young Fives? It's sort of hard to kind of, for either one of these, to make it a short, concise sort of definition. But when you think about Young Fives, think about sort of a bridge between early learning experiences and kindergarten. Oftentimes, I like to think about it as a gift of a year, and who wouldn't want to have another year just to be like a little kid? You can see that there's a lot of learning that goes on, but we really try to sort of introduce the learning through purposeful play and exploration. The 4 main areas that we focus on in young fives are social development, emotional development, cognitive or academic development, and physical development, which is thinking about like the fine motor and the gross motor skills, so like the big exercise kind of things. And we'll talk a little bit about the purposeful play and exploration in just a little bit.
Entering kindergarten is an exciting milestone. And really, kindergarten is the bridge between early childhood and elementary school. It's a place where all children can learn the foundational skills they need to grow and succeed as a student. In kindergarten classrooms, there's schedules and directions to follow, lines to stand in, and other children to get along with. So children do need social and emotional skills like curiosity, independence, and self-control, just as much as they need skills like early academic skills like counting and letters and letter sounds. So really, children will learn what it means to be part of a school community that embraces different kinds of learners, including our learners with more complex needs. And kindergarten students are ready to be fully immersed both with and without support in an engaging curriculum.
What will my child experience in Young Fives? It feels like every day is different. It feels like every year that I've taught Young Fives is different. And each day is sort of jam-packed from start to finish. Young Fives is 5 days a week. It's all day long, just like every other grade in kindergarten through 5th grade. But it feels like when you enter Young Fives, it's 7 years now in your elementary building. So that first year really gives them a chance to get acclimated to being at school all day, learning all the procedures, all the rules. And a little bit ago, I talked about sort of our 4 main areas of development as far as social learning, emotional, academic or cognitive skills, and our physical growth. And so everything that Young Fives teachers do, we have sort of those 4 main areas in mind, no matter what it is we're doing. So when I say playful, or we play a lot, it doesn't mean that they come in and we just sort of say, we have a bunch of toys, go ahead and play. We do spend time outside. We try to go outside at least 2 times a day. We do try to have at least 1 hour of uninterrupted play where your child has a choice of where they go and what they do. But also within the day, every single Young Fives teacher is finding ways to build in those math skills, build in those reading skills, build in some writing, build in science. When you take a look at these pictures behind me, it looks like one moment, but there are so many things that are happening within these moments. If you take a look at these, the 2 pictures on the right and then that one like sort of poster on the left, I had a little guy who's dressed as the knight. His name is Liam. His family took a trip to Ireland. He came back from Ireland, he brought pictures with him, and all of a sudden, everybody wanted to go to Ireland. Everybody wanted to visit a castle. And so we were looking at pictures of castles, and we decided, let's turn our pretend play area into a castle. But it didn't stop there. I was trying to think about those 4 different areas, and everybody's excited about castles. So we brought in books about castles. We brought in books about princes and princesses and kings and how are castles made and what do we do. I had a 5th grader. If you look behind Liam, he actually built us a cardboard drawbridge. So the children were able to work with like a pulley system. They put blocks up and they're working together to like build castles and wooden castles. And then at the bottom we learned that castles were oftentimes made of stones. So they used construction paper and they made some stones on the outside of the castle. We kind of wrapped up that whole thing. We had Jack and the Beanstalk. We read just about every version of Jack and the Beanstalk. They could tell you the story in and out. We put a harp inside of our castle so they could play, the music. And then we ended up with a royal ball. So one day I rolled out the red carpet, which was actually just red butcher block paper. We played some royal music. They came in. They danced a little bit. We had some royal snacks where they learned the word daintily, and they still love to eat their snacks daintily or ask me if it's not daintily and sort of stick it all in their mouths. But it's just trying to make learning come alive. And when you sit down to play a board game with your child, you know you're teaching them so many different things within that one game. but you don't point it all out. So it's just like that. We're weaving it all in without them really knowing exactly what we're up to. And I know Emilio's back there somewhere, so Mrs. Chavez, don't let him know what's happening each day.
All right, what will my child experience in kindergarten? Well, our environments are engaging and ready to explore. We have whole group and small group opportunities, and there's also time to rest and recharge. We are talking, reading, discovering, and making choices in kindergarten. We're able to meet the needs of all types of learners by the way that we structure our day and the experiences that we can create. So no matter if your child is with us all day or just a part of their day with support, they're going to get exactly what they need. Listening and following along is huge in kindergarten, and we start small and we work ourselves up, and it's really stamina. We're creating stamina in kindergarten, stamina to sit with something longer, stamina to read a book for a longer period of time, or to write more pages. So whether students have had previous experiences or not, previous experience does help them as they develop stamina in kindergartens from like young fives or preschool experiences. We are having opportunities every day to grow our language skills. This is so important that they have time to be able to do this. So they work with partners in kindergarten. They're going to work with partners at different times of their days and across subject areas. They learn how to sit with that partner and turn and talk. You can see a picture of them, the one where they look huddled together on the carpet. That's a turn and talk. They're working with a partner in that picture. And so they're learning not only how to use stronger vocabulary and practice that with their peers, but how to stay on topic. And the most important one, listening. How to listen to someone else when they're talking, and maybe even say something back. So growing language in kindergarten is super important. And partnerships will help each other read tricky words or even add more details to their stories. When our language skills grow, then our confidence as a learner grows. So we really want to promote that in kindergarten. We are working on building relationships in kindergarten, so they'll have many experiences to do that. One way that we do that is by having daily class meetings. And during these class meetings, we can focus on different social topics, things that will apply to their daily life, things that they've had a little experience with, or maybe none at all. And we can talk about these social topics, and they can learn right along with their classmates and build relationships. The class meeting is a great time for a group of kids to share how they use straw builders to build an alphabet on the floor, and what tips they could give other groups that wanted to try something similar. So these skills of working with other people and their peers and building those relationships tie directly into the academic work that we do, because we want children to be able to get along with each other and learn together in a group, and that's what they'll learn to do in kindergarten. We use different instructional practices in kindergarten for all of our experiences. So modeling, I model every day, kids model their learning for each other. You can see little Gracie is up modeling her learning by using our document camera. They love to use the technology, and the microphone is really popular. We give children opportunities to do that. We teach mini lessons, then they're able to have some guided practice with those skills. And we even come back together and reflect on that learning, so we're making sense of what we're learning together. And the nice part about it is we can schedule our day in different ways so that we can have small groups. And in our small groups, what's nice is we can challenge it and make sure that our experiences fit the need of that group. We have a strong literacy focus in kindergarten, so we are reading and discussing and questioning books, informational and fictional books, every day. And they're learning how to tell stories, but the big one, they are learning to become authors for the first time. They're writing their stories on paper. That's a part of their kindergarten experience, which is super exciting. We engage in daily math and learning and explore a variety of science topics in kindergarten. They will get actively involved in these things. They're building number sense by practicing in small groups. They're studying topics that naturally apply to them, like weather. That's one of our topics in science. They're looking out at the weather. They're recording what the weather is like and learning about how they can look at precipitation. These pictures represent kindergarten students in a variety of experiences, from sharing their writing to retelling a familiar story like the Billy Goat's Gruff with props. And you know, learning opportunities are created in a variety of ways, and that does include play, and play is very motivational to young children, so there is a time for that in kindergarten. Literacy skills grow when they go to the classroom post office and write a letter to their friends and deliver it. And math and motor skills sharpen when they roll dice to add numbers together, and then they record those numbers on paper. So social skills are necessary as they team up to build different glasses out of different shapes. So all of these experiences come together in one amazing year of growth, and I know I'm biased, but I would say kindergarten is just such a wonderful and critical learning year for your child, and probably the place where they began to learn it all.
All right, and then the next question, what are the year-end goals for Young Fives? We all have, as Young Fives teachers, we all have sort of a common goal. Where do we want them to be? We want them to know their letters. We want them to know their sounds. We want them to be able to count and recognize shapes and do all these different things. But really, we also recognize, Young Fives and kindergarten, that our goal is to just really teach each child and learn who they are and learn where their strengths are, and also just to help them keep growing and keep on sort of climbing that ladder. We want them, mostly when they leave Young Fives, we want them to feel safe, we want them to feel loved and encouraged and supported, and when the weekend time comes, we want them to be like, oh man, it's Friday, we don't get to come back tomorrow. I know, we have to wait all the way till Monday. When the school year ends, we want them to be excited for summer vacation, but we also want them to get that little itch where they're excited to come back to school. We want them to feel like school is a place where they belong and a place where exciting things happen, where they learn that it's a safe place to take risks and a place where they're going to be challenged and encouraged, and just sort of continue on the path that they're on and start to really identify themselves as learners, identify themselves as friends, as scientists and readers and writers and all of those other wonderful titles that we know that they can be.
In kindergarten, the year-end goals, when they leave kindergarten, we want students to love school and feel valued and connected and be growing as readers, writers, and mathematicians. We want them to feel confident in reading or writing across any area of learning. We want every child to have experienced a strong sense of classroom community and had frequent opportunities to apply essential social skills. Our goal for them is to identify themselves as capable little people ready to take on challenges and really figure out how the world works around them. It's really amazing what happens during the kindergarten year. They come in and they're so little. They probably seem big to you. They're so little to us. And when they leave, they're students. I watch them walking around the classroom, doing jobs and getting materials and talking to their peers confidently, and it just amazes me what growth happens during this year. So I think that developmental stages are reached at different times. In a year, a lot of growth can happen in a year for young children. So we've told you a lot of information, and for some of you, your child is just of the age they're just going to go right into kindergarten. And other people, you do have a choice to make. And how fortunate are we that in Clarkston, we have a Young Fives program that is amazing and just an essential opportunity for our kids that qualify. But so yeah, we're here for you, and we can't wait to help you through this process. But now we are going to take a look about what the real experts have to say about Young Fives in kindergarten, and that's the kids.
Madison, what is your favorite part of the day? Art. What about you, Anna Sophia? Gym. And what about you, Zoe? Snack. My second question, what are you learning about right now, Morgan?
Arctic animals.
Arctic animals. Anything else?
Words.
Words. How about you, Henry? What are you learning about at school?
Numbers.
Numbers. And how about you, Liam? Words and reading some books. Awesome. My next question is, what do you like about being a Kindred Cup?
Playing with my friends.
Playing with your friends. Gabriel, what do you like?
Helping them.
Helping your friends.
Learning, because when you grow up, you'll get to know lots of numbers. I like to draw hugs.
I love hugs too. How about favorite part of the day?
Hi, families. Hi, families. Hello, families. Me and Franco are going to talk about kindergarten.
What is your favorite part of the day in kindergarten?
Hi, morning meeting.
Why do you like that part?
Because I get to spend time with everyone.
What about you?
I do number corner. Doing play workshop.
Why?
Because we begin to build stuff and do art and finish our creations that we built it already.
Awesome. What about you, Franco? What's your favorite part of the day?
Math,
Why do you like math?
because we got to count to 100 and add the numbers. Art,
Why do you like art?
because I like fun drawings.
All right, what about you?
I like literacy station
Why do you like that?
because you learn letters.
What's something we're learning about in kindergarten?
We get to use our sounds and words to read pattern books. I'm learning how to sounds make words.
Nice.
Learn to make sounds and sounds make words.
Great. What about you? What are you learning right now?
Counting by tens.
Awesome.
We learn about gym and music lessons, Spanish. That's our part of our days.
That's part of our day. What else are we learning about?
Snapper.
What's a snap word?
It's a weird day learning a snap.
I love it. Thank you, Michelle and Abby, for celebrating those two programs. So I want to talk a little bit about what is similar between Young Fives and kindergarten. And both programs, they come for a full day into our elementary school. So each is a 7-hour day. They are both taught by certified teachers. And you heard it from the kids too, they love our co-curriculars. And so every day, they'll participate in one of our 4. And I'm very happy to say that we have teachers that are housed at each school, and they teach music, we have art, we have PE, and we also have a world language of Spanish. You can pack your own lunch for your child, but it can also be purchased, and that is a hot or a cold lunch in every school. We provide bus transportation. Our Young Fives, our kindergarten, they are cared for very much by our bus drivers, and they tend to sit towards the front of the bus. We also offer before and after school care. It's called Funshine. You're going to hear about that tonight. And also, in the past, we weren't always able to offer Young Fives at every school, but we are now. So every school has Young Fives as well as kindergarten. And so what's different? I think sometimes we'll see a difference in class size. Our Young Fives tend to be a little bit smaller. And also we have instructional aids in both. but our instructional aides are with our young 5 children a little bit longer during the day. I'm often asked, well, where does my child go the following year? And so if your child is in Young 5s and completes a full year of Young 5s, the next year they will enter kindergarten. This is not a repeat. This is a completely different experience, as you heard from our teachers. And if your child enters kindergarten or completes kindergarten, the next year they will begin in 1st grade. We also offer, and this is very, I think, special to some of our families, and that is a virtual program. Our Clarkston Virtuals begins in Young 5s, extends all the way through grade 12, and our students do participate in various online platforms. They are supported by Clarkston teachers. We do follow state standards. If they're in a virtual program, they are receiving exactly what they need. And it does offer flexibility for some of our families in terms of, travel, that kind of piece. So it's a really neat opportunity, and I think it fits some of our kids and families very well. We do have an administrator that oversees. Her name is Susie Miller, and you'll see in your packet we have email and phone number. If you ever want to inquire or pursue a virtual experience in Clarkston, we can certainly offer that. And so I'm going to invite Tina Moyles to come up. She's going to explain how you enroll your child to begin school. Welcome, Tina.
My information is not quite as exciting, but hopefully it is helpful. So Clarkston does utilize an online registration that can be found on the district's website under the enrollment area. This is where the parents will find the information to begin their online enrollment process. Registration for the 24-25 school year will begin on Wednesday, February 21st. And we do encourage you to have your enrollment completed by April 19th for building open house and for staffing purposes. Please refer to the enrollment requirements on the district website for the required documentation that is needed to process your student's registration. Gather all the paperwork prior to starting because this will make the enrollment go much faster. I do want to mention that the supporting documents required for residency must show the parent or guardian name, the address for which you are enrolling, and you have to have the documents that you're submitting be within the last 30 days. In the drop-down selection for the online registration, you will choose the 24-25 CCS resident enrollment for Young 5 through 12th grade, unless your student was previously enrolled or evaluated by our DALS, SPICE, GSRP, or SSP. And if that's the case, then you'll want to choose the 24-25 student enrollment for DALS SPICE option. Be sure to upload your student's current enrollment, or your student's current immunizations or their current immunization waiver, even if they are still in need of future vaccinations. However, in order to begin school, it is important to know that the students must either be up to date with their vaccinations or have a current waiver on file from the health department. We encourage you to have your student's vision and hearing at the time that you enroll your student. We do understand that this might not take place until a later date, and that's certainly okay, but we do need that information prior to the first day of school. Once your online enrollment has been completed and all your supporting documentation has been uploaded, be sure to review the data that you've entered. Once you've reviewed that data, you want to be sure to click Submit. If Submit is not clicked, the registration will not go into our queue and we won't be able to see it, to review it, and accept it. We truly value the importance of your time. So to avoid your enrollment being reactivated or denied, you must provide all the required documentation at the time that you submit your registration. Be on the lookout for emails from us in case we do have questions or need further help with processing your enrollment. And once your enrollment has been processed, you will receive an email from us that verifies the completion of your enrollment. And we do anticipate that we'll have a high volume of enrollments coming in once we open the door. So it will take probably a couple more days than the normal 2 to 3 business days to process your students' enrollment. In-person enrollment will be available by appointment only for special circumstances. If you feel that you need an in-person appointment, feel free to call us at the administrative offices. And last but not least, if you do have questions, please call us. We're there to help. Thanks.
So I did want to speak to before and after school care because I think this is very beneficial and helpful to our families. It is called Funshine. It's not called Funshine, it's called Kids Connection, okay? Funshine's got a nice little, okay. All right, this is called Kids Connection, thank you. All right, so it is licensed child care program. Whether you're young fives all the way through 5th grade, all children can take part in this. It's housed at every single elementary. In the morning, we open at 6:45 and we close at 6 p.m. So before or after school, again, this does help some of our families. The office for Kids Connection, it's 623-4350. That is in your packet, but the office is at ECC. They can explain pricing information, and we hope that you can register by June 1 to lock in your spot, again, called Kids Connection before or after school care. And so this is a question as we kind of finalize the night tonight. It's really about how we can partner with you and how can you help your child to be successful as they enter school. And so we think about these three circles, and we just want to, they're just easy. They're so easy, Mom and Dad, that you can participate in just helping us prepare. And so we think about these 3 words of see, think, and wonder. And so let's just take C for a second, okay? As you're driving around with your child, if you could just point out things that you see. I see the clouds. Do you see that smoke coming out of the chimney? Wow, look at that big truck. And all that does is it instills in your child to take notice. We want children to always take notice of their surroundings. And that's an easy way to practice, okay? The second thing is think. Hey, what do you think if I mix these 2 paints together? What do you think's gonna happen? Or you're building blocks. What do you think's gonna happen if I pull this block out? And again, this is a skill that's really helpful, I think, as they enter school, because when they think like that, they're predicting. And that's a really strong skill that kids can have, is to be able to predict. Right or wrong, doesn't matter. It's a skill that we can build upon. And then the third is wonder. Man, I wonder what it would be like to be a snowman. Or I wonder what it would be like to be a centipede and have 100 legs. And have a little discussion about it. Because wondering taps in to imagination. And again, that affects the learning process as we begin to read and to write, all right? And that imagination, when it's strong, it's very helpful as children enter our school. So see, think, wonder, super easy. The next circle is about talk, play, and read, and I would like to invite one of my very favorite people. This is Megan Burkett-Brazier. You talk about passion for literacy, it's right here, okay? You're gonna hear from her. Megan, welcome.
Thank you, Nancy. So I am Megan Brazier. I am the elementary literacy coordinator. I am also a former teacher and perhaps most importantly, a parent of 2 elementary age children. And both of my children had the opportunity to experience both young fives and kindergarten here in the district. And I want to say, you know, as a parent, I am grateful every day that my children get to attend this incredible school community that we warmly welcome you into as well. So that question is big, right? How can I prepare my child for school? It's a big question. And as Nancy said, actually what we recommend is pretty simple, but it's really intentional. But these practices pay off big time. So the first one I want to talk to you today is just about talking. Talking intentionally to your child, but talking often, talking a lot. Talking when your child is playing, sitting down next to your child and saying, hey, what are you coloring? Tell me about it. Asking questions. And when you ask those questions and when you talk to your child, ask them to look at you, to respond. Take turns talking. Those things seem little, but they're hugely important. We can talk all the time, not just when they're playing. Talk in the car, right? On your way to soccer or dance or gymnastic or the millions of places you have to go all the time, stores. Talk, take those opportunities, seize those moments to build vocabulary, to have a conversation with your child. It matters. So talk is really important. Another thing that you can do to support your child is to play with your child. Now, we know that's hard sometimes, right? We're so busy. We are, running from thing to thing to thing. This doesn't have to be an hour of play. It can be 5 minutes. It can be 10. It can be, hey, let's pick out a quick board game and play this together. Because not only are you teaching literacy and math skills when you play those board games, but you're also teaching kids how to win and how to lose. That's hugely important. You're teaching problem-solving skills. You're teaching following rules. Those are all critically important skills in life. So that could be board games that you're playing with your child, but it can also be quick little games in the car. Let's count the number of red cars that we see today. Oh, we're almost to 10. How many more do we need? You can play games. How many stop signs did we come across? What shapes did you notice? So these games can be big, these games can be small, but it's all about being playful. Play matters. The third one up there is to read. Read more often than you think you should. The research is clear. The amount of time that we spend reading to kids pays off big time. There is a direct effect on the amount of time that kids are read to and their schooling outcomes. Reading builds vocabulary. It builds language. It also has you modeling key skills that are foundational. How to turn the pages, how to connect words and letters and sounds, words and print. It matters. So read more often than you think you should. Have books everywhere. Have them in your bag so you can pull out when you're waiting at the doctor's office. Have them in your car so if there's a traffic jam or something's going slow, your kids can pull them out. Read often. Make it a routine, just like brushing your teeth at night. So reading is critical. And in that vein, with that idea in mind, we have a gift for you today. So as you exit the auditorium after the presentation, there is a table of books. We invite you to take one for your family, for your child, to continue to build this love of reading. We hope that this is a book that you will read over and over again. And I know sometimes you're like, please, just pick a different one, right? But it's so important that there's so many benefits that kids can get from repeated readings, including the feeling that I can read this, I'm a reader. And just as much as anything, we want to build that confidence, that capacity. So, simple but powerful. Keep talking with your children, keep playing with your children, and keep reading with your children. That matters.
And then just the last circle, and I think you know this, but sometimes it's hard. It was hard for me as a parent, and that was honoring that effort. And so your child gets ready for school, they come out of the bedroom, and boy, do they look bad, right? Swallow it, parents, okay? I want you to honor the effort, because when kids do that, we're building independence, okay? And that's so important, all right? That we honor the effort, that they just did such a good job. Growing the brain, and this is research-based as well, is that any new experience that a child experiences grows the brain. And this doesn't have to be big, a mountain to move. Any new experience, whether it be going to a pond, going to a park, going to see a game, but that does grow the brain. So I just want you to be reminded of that any new experience that's out of the ordinary is really beneficial to children. And then the last one is to offer choice. This really builds confidence. Do you want corn or do you want green beans? Let them pick and do it. You want to go on the slide or you want to go on the swing? let them pick and do it. Again, just building confidence as they enter school. So this was kind of cool. I think they're easy, okay? We gave you lots of options to think about, and again, it's big, and it'll pay off for us and for you. So what are the next steps, Mom and Dad? Enroll starts February 21st of this year. This is very important. Let's start enrolling your children. Complete the online enrollment. There's our website right there. We have an open house for young fives and for kindergarten at every elementary. It's on May 9th. May 9th is the night I'd like you to attend an open house, whether it be young fives or kindergarten. And call your home school. Don't ever, ever hesitate if you have a question or a concern. I don't care how simple. Be sure to reach out to a principal. You can call me, okay? We will absolutely answer any questions, concerns that you might have. And so together we want to build the wings, right? We want your children to be able to fly, to be successful, and we're so excited to partner with you. I'm going to excuse our teachers and our principals right now to head back to their table, and what you'll find as you grab your book, as you exit out, we have tables that have every school there. We have our principal, we have young fives and kindergarten teachers, we have a table for our special education services, so our administrators are there. And we also have a bus transportation table. If you have questions at all about transportation, they are there to answer any of your questions. And so again, I just want to leave by saying thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this. I'm here, Dr. Ryan is still here, President Greg Need is here. We're here to answer any questions you might have tonight as well. And so welcome to Clarkston. Okay, have a great night.
The mic's right there.